across all time zones, covering both hemispheres. It's another featured music special on the Artist First Radio Network. Oh yeah, we're way north of 12,000 now. Been doing this for 21 years and some months as of 2017. I know, say it with me all together. And how come you guys ain't no good at it? Yeah, we try here though. We do our best to bring you the best new music you've never heard. And as that crazy man said, leading into the show, the best new books you have to read. This is kind of a combo show in a way. Our guest for the rest of the broadcast is an artist, a songwriter, and a poet. So this is kind of like an author's first show, a poet's first show, and a music special all wrapped up in one. So let's get right into it. As I mentioned before, we have a very creative and wonderful person coming your way for the next hour. Let's give a warm artist first welcome to Red Hits. Hey, Red.
Hey, how you doing?
Is it okay if sometimes I call you Red instead of Red Hits?
Well, yeah, I prefer you call me Red Hits because that's, that's my stage name. Would you call me Red too?
Oh, I can see. Yeah, I know. Since I'm not in your circle, I'll respect that. Well, Red Hits, you've got a fascinating career going on. Folks, everybody surf on over to the site we have there. You can follow along with us for those of you that want to see what's going on. This is interactive radio. That website is Only One Red Hits. That's ONLY, the numeral 1, Red Hits, plural. Or just use the link on our Artist First homepage or the archive page, and you can see the beautiful, lovely artists we are interviewing this evening. All right, Red Hits, I know you were born in California and you grew up in Memphis, so let's talk a little bit about your childhood in Memphis and, introduce you a little bit more to our listeners. So how was it growing up in Memphis?
Oh, it was great. I mean, I had a great childhood. I was always writing, doing poetry, writing songs, rapping, actually doing it all. So Memphis has been good to me.
Well, when did you realize, this isn't an easy thing to do and it takes a lot of work? Have you always been creative? About what age did it start to come to the surface, shall we say?
Actually, I'd say it started around maybe 8 years old, 7. Like, I was like little.
And how did it begin?
I knew, first I started doing poetry, and then it morphed into songwriting, because I would do these oratorical contests for my schools and things. And after I did that, I started kind of dabbling into writing songs, and people told me I was really good at it. So now, I'm a poet and a songwriter.
Man, we know what it's like to be school children, as we all were at one time. Were you cool with that? Did you have that stage presence when you were doing those oracle contests? Were you, in high school and junior high school, gosh, petrifying to perform in front of your peers?
Actually, I did an oratorical contest on Friday the 13th, and I was number 13, and everybody was like, oh, that's bad luck, you're going to lose. And I won first place. So
yeah, congratulations. yeah, ain't that great? I can't even pronounce oratorical, let alone perform in one.
It's fun though.
I bring this up on a lot of shows, and I think I know what your answer is going to be, but listeners who listen to these broadcasts know I ask this. Why, for some artists, is it absolutely horrifying to have to perform in front of friends or, even worse, family? Now, do you ever have that happen to you, or maybe that's not the way it works for you?
Yes, actually. I can perform in front of thousands of strangers.
Exactly.
When you make me perform in front of my family, because my family, like when I was a child, when I would do those contests, they would give me this look like, you better do good. And they still do it, and they don't even realize that they're doing it. And I'm like, look, y'all are making me nervous. So I just rather them, I like them to come and see me perform, but I don't look them in the eyes while I'm singing.
I just outright tell my family, do not come to my gig. I told
I
them,
should do that.
you're on the no entry list. Just stay home.
I'm not going to do them like that, though.
Yeah, no, you know, thousands of strangers, and it's no problem. I think it has to do, this is just my little theory here, because you'd be surprised, RedHits, how many artists feel exactly the same way that we do. And listeners tuning in that aren't performing artists, they're going like, what the hell's that? You know, what's wrong with those people? Well, you just don't know. I don't know why. So that could be a good subject for somebody to study at some point. All right. So after the oratorical, there I said it correctly, the oratorical performances.
You did it right.
Well, I was trying to give a plug for Oracle. Isn't that well, I know it was the future tellers back in ancient Greece, but now there's a software company called Oracle. Anyway, the oratorical performances you gave. Okay, notwithstanding that, so when is the first time you started performing as, you know, you're starting to morph into this RedHits artist? When did you start getting into stuff like that?
Actually, I think I started actually doing like rap shows and things like that around, I'd have to say about 16, 17. Yep. 16, 17, I was doing rap shows, and I was actually doing a few little, I guess a little mini tour with some friends I had, and I'd get on stage and I'd rap, and I had the kind of Leah hairdo with the bang over my right eye.
Yeah. Gotta look the part, man. It matters. It matters.
Oh, yeah. I had it going on.
You know, let me give a tip to some independent artists out there. You know, you show up in a dirty T-shirt, and your hair's all greasy, and your jeans are torn. That ain't happening. You want to be a respected artist. You should be the best dressed person in the room. When somebody sees you, they would instantaneously know, hey, that's the artist. That's the performer. That's the entertainer. Don't look like a bum in row 77B. Look like the... Okay, I'll get off my soapbox here, but... all right, so... You know, there's not a lot of difference between poetry and rap, is there? If you put a beat behind a poem, it's rap. If you put music behind a poem, it's a song.
Exactly.
So you've been basically a songwriter since the day you've been a poetry writer.
Correct. I mean, I just learned that I could do it to music, and then I learned that I was good at composing and putting it all together to make it, you know, a really great song. So
we're going to play a couple of tracks here coming up, but before we do that, I want to make sure I mention this ahead of time so that I think they're going to hear the influences we're about to talk about in the cut we're about to play. And some of those influences for you were, just to mention a few, Michael Jackson, Anita Baker, R. Kelly.
yes.
In your bio, you referenced somebody, Neo?
Neo.
I'm embarrassed. I don't know who that is.
Neo?
I know. I live in a cave down by the river. I know.
He's an R&B singer, but he's also a very popular songwriter. I mean, he's written songs for Beyonce.
Oh.
I mean, he wrote, I think, what is that song, To the Left? To the left, to the left.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, all right. Okay. Yes, I'm familiar with that song. Do I like that song? I'm familiar with that song. Let's just say that. All right. It probably made him a bundle of money. I hope it did.
Yeah.
All right. But more likely, it made his record label a bundle of money and made him very little. But that's another program. So when did you decide that, okay, I'm going to take this from a hobby and something that I do to make this into a career, take the next serious step? There's a big difference, folks, between artists that go out on a weekend and have some fun at an open mic night and somebody that's trying to make a career, somebody that's trying to make an image. It is big time hard. And when did you make that choice?
Actually, I did it a couple times, but I actually started getting super serious last year because, I would write all these songs and I would try to do it, but I didn't put like 1,000,000% in, and it just kept bothering me. It just kept bothering me, and I just decided, you know what, I'm going to do it for real, and I'm not going to stop no matter what, no matter the obstacles that come on. I'm going to keep going. So last year was when I actually really decided to just do it. And, I got rid of all the fears that I had. I had fears of, jumping back on stage, because after you haven't done it in a long time, you can develop, a little bit of nervousness. So I shook that off, and it's been great ever since.
You mean you were never just a little bit nervous before?
I mean, you're always a little nervous, but I wouldn't even call it nervous. I would call it like you're just excited. Like I get so excited. It's just so many emotions before I get on stage, but it's great. Like it's not a scared, terrifying thing. It's like, oh yeah, I'm about to rock the crowd. We're about to have some fun. Everybody's staring at me, but hey, I can deal with it.
That's what they make alcohol for.
That helps too.
Oh, not really, folks. If you are petrified, if you are having stage fright, of course, maybe a shot helps you simmer you down. But you know what? 2 shots makes you an ass on stage. So
yeah,
learn the difference, folks. All right, well, let's get this cut out here. We're going to play a single that's just been released by our guest, RedHits, and it's entitled "She'll Be Single Again." Tell us about this cut.
This song is a song. I guess you could say it's like the ex anthem. It's a song that I wrote to, let's say in general, say your ex does you, not very careful with your heart. Well, say you would get a chance to tell your ex's new love how they did you. Mm-hmm. This is what this song is about. So it's basically a heads up, letting the new person know, hey, she's going to do you the same way.
She's so dirty. She don't care about nobody but herself. Yeah. And it don't hurt me, even though I know she's with someone else. Yeah. 'Cause she got problems. Her life is filled with misery. Her love won't blossom, and it'll be nothing like what you think. Promise to me, she'll twist and turn the truth. Turn your family against you. You fight all night, argue all day. She'll always be the victim and you'll always be to blame. She won't support your dreams. She'll destroy all your things. Badmouth you to her friends, you never hear the end. And when she does what she intends, she'll be single again. Right now you're a man, but trust me, she'll be single again. I know you got plans, but trust me, she'll be single. She's straight up crazy. Nothing that she does makes no sense. No. Cause she's shady. So you can hang it up, make it breathe. Cause she got issues, and every instant she gon' cheat. Cause she been misused, her heart's not even insane. Promise to me, oh, she'll twist and turn the truth. Turn your family against you. You fight all night, argue all day. She'll always be the victim and you'll always be to blame. She won't support your dreams. she does what she intends. She'll be single when she's done with you. She gon' walk away from love. You'll be so confused. She gon' walk away from love. You won't know what to do. She gon' walk away.
You'll be crying on your knees, asking how could she just leave? There'll be no traces left to see.
She'll twist and turn the truth. Turn your family against you. You fight all night, argue all day. She'll always be the victim and you'll always be to blame. She won't support your dream. She'll destroy all your things. Bad mouth you to her friends. You never hear the end. And when she does what she intends, she'll be single again. Right now you're her man, but trust me, she'll be single again. I know you got plans, but trust me, she'll be single again. Good luck with that.
All right, what a cut. What a cut. Nice job there. Our guest is RedHits. Very, very nice.
Thank you.
Okay, how'd you put all that together? Where'd you record it? Tell us, give us the whole scoop.
Well, actually, I ended up recording it at a friend of mine's house.
Good.
You know, and from there, you know, I sent it off to a lady named Darcy in California. She did an amazing job, you know, on mixing and really getting it to sound amazing. So, yeah.
We have been a big proponent of home studios for 20 years. Folks, you guys all know that that's the direction everybody should be going. No offense to the big studios. They're going to be around forever. But to be able to do it in a comfortable environment, like you mentioned, you at your friend's house.
Yeah.
You know, how cool is that? I mean, when you're in a studio and you're burning money, I don't know, $5 a minute in some studios or more, a minute.
Yeah, it gets expensive.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and you're trying to be creative. You're trying to not make mistakes. So how are you in the studio, even in that comfortable environment? Are you a one-take wonder, as they say?
Well, sometimes I do wonder, you know, if I'm really trying to really make it sound amazing, I might do it a lot of times, you know, just to make sure that I'm doing the right, you know, that it sounds absolutely amazing. I went to the Country Music Museum in Nashville, Hall of Fame.
Oh, okay.
And I learned that they were saying that a lot of artists back in the 40s and 30s, they just did one take because they had to. And I was like, wow, that's so amazing. So I said to myself, you know, when I record some more, I'm going to try to do it just one time and just pretend that they can't fix it, because they made a lot of great music. Just one take. They sound amazing because they knew that they couldn't, you know, go back and fix it. So I said I was going to practice that. I was going to try that.
We're going to do a show sometime on all the mistakes that we know of from the many of those famous artists that have come through here. Of course, you guys know Artie Kornfeld's on this broadcast. We've done 250 hours with him, 60 platinum albums. Everybody out there from Chubby Checker to the Shirelles to Neil Young, etc. There are massive amounts of mistakes in the older records because of exactly what you say, RedHits, exactly. And they wouldn't take the time, even up into the 70s. You know, you'd think by that time we're using multi-track recording. They still, the record companies leave it. Anyway, we're going to do a show about that sometime. And you know what? When you go see a band play live, inevitably there's going to be a couple of flubs here and there. Who cares?
Yeah.
You know, the guitar lead or the sax lead or the singer's not going to sing it exactly like the record every single time. And I think that adds, humanity to it. Cripe, there was a point in time, correct me if I'm wrong, RedHits, where they now have programs that make your music sound human and less mechanical. You know what I mean? It's not exactly on the beat every time. It's not so sterile that it's a machine playing. They try to make mistakes. That's kind of ridiculous, but I like the outcome. What's your thoughts?
That's actually kind of cool. Because I mean, you know, when you lose the human in a song, I mean, you can't feel it. Like, you want to be able to feel it. I mean, we're all human. We're not robots. At least not yet. But, you know, I think that's great to keep the human in songs. You know, sometimes I want to hear that breath. Everybody wants to take that breath out. But I'm like, you're breathing and singing and rapping. Why not? Leave it in there, you know?
And I know that it's used on the majority of the records out there by the biggest name artists on the planet, and God bless them. But I hate when people, God, I hope this isn't any of your songs, but I'm gonna, I hate when they use the pitch. It's not pitch, well, pitch correction is what's used on most albums, but when they make their voice, like Cher did, I think she was the first major record to come out with that, where they make the voice sound like a keyboard because the guy can't sing in the first place. Oops. Was I talking out loud? I mean, if you can sing the damn song.
Now I have used, auto-tune, and that was just to give it, because I know that now, you know, a lot of people use auto-tune. So I have actually done songs with a little auto-tune, but I don't really do that much.
Well, auto-tune is not the same thing. And there's nothing wrong with making sure if you're a little flat here, they're fixing the record. But it's these guys that sing the whole song. I can't remember what the terminology is. It shows how unhip I am. Where every note sounds like a keyboard. And they deliberately want to do that. They make their voice sound like an instrument. I know the voice is an instrument, but it sounds like a keyboard. Okay, folks, let's get off that topic. I don't like it. It was around for a while, and I haven't heard too many records out since then. Well, one thing you can use is called a vocoder. I don't know if you're familiar with what that is. It's you use a keyboard and you plug a microphone into it, a MIDI keyboard, and then whatever you sing and play comes out as notes. It's a fantastic tool, but, you know, it's great for live performances and all that, but to put out a record because you can't sing. Anyway, okay, let's get off that topic. Now, you just were in Nashville. Tell us about what you were doing down there.
I actually did a show for the Hip Jazz Soul function. It was at the Loft in Ella Jean. And it was a great show. We had a wonderful time. And I performed "She'll Be Single Again," and the crowd loved it, and we just had an amazing time.
Could there, you can count on 3 fingers tougher places to play than Nashville. I don't know, maybe Chicago, maybe New York, maybe LA, and maybe none of those. There is a certain level of expertise that you better have if you're appearing in Nashville. So congratulations on a fine performance and all the accolades that you got.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
We haven't talked about, well, you and I did off the air, but maybe we should talk about this a little on the air, especially for our younger wannabe artists and hope to be artists. Just how tough and unforgiving, and not necessarily unforgiving, how difficult it is. The cards are stacked against you if you are an independent artist. Your thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, it's hard building yourself, building your platform, getting people to, you know, because I noticed that I have great music, and once they hear it, they love it. But the hard thing is getting them to want to hear it, because there's so many people out here. And I'm just gonna keep it real. There are a lot of artists out here that sound bad, you know, that is just not very talented. So they automatically put me in that category and say, "Oh, here goes some crap," you know, and they won't listen to it. But then when they listen to it, they're like, "Wow, hold up, wait a minute, I like this." You know, I've had people, like I was in Miami and I was on the beach and I was passing my flyers out and CDs and things, and this guy, he kind of had this nonchalant attitude, like he really wasn't going to listen to it. So I just kept walking, And I don't know, he put it in his radio, and he came and found me, and he was like, I love this. Thank you so much. And I was like, oh, my goodness. Thank you.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah, that was like so awesome. So, I mean, it is hard. It's hard because one thing about it is very expensive. If you're going to get in this business, you need to have some money saved up because, it gets very expensive, but it's worth it. I mean, it's worth, living out your dream. It's going to cost money. You're going to have obstacles, but long as you plow through them, you'll be fine. And you got to believe in yourself. If nobody else believes in you, you have to believe in you because that's what's going to make everything work. You have to believe that this is what you want to do. This is what you were born to do. So go do it.
We believe and have been saying for 21 years at Artist First, bypass corporate radio, bypass criminal record labels. Take your music directly to the listeners through things like iTunes, CD Baby, and services like that. Keep the money. When you sell a song for 99 cents on iTunes, ladies and gentlemen, the artist gets 89 cents. Janis Joplin, in her entire career, never made 89 cents profit on any album that her record label ever sold. Look it up, folks. Wow. This is the best time ever to be an independent artist, and the worst thing, in my humble opinion, you can do is to try and get a major record deal. Oh, they'll make you famous, and you'll continue to make them rich. Why not do both? An artist who can sell 10,000 downloads on iTunes for 99 cents a piece will walk away with more money at the end of the day than if they had a record deal and sold 250,000 records. Mm-hmm. What's wrong with that formula? Okay, well, and I suppose it's appropriate since we're on this topic, and you may know as well as anyone else, Red Hits, the predatory nature of this business, whether it's club owners, shady agents, you go into a club, hey, and you're under so much for a contract, and they want to pay you half. You're intimidated by. Anyway, excuse my language, folks. This is a shit business. Okay, nobody tells you that. This is a shit business with shit people running it. Well, you don't have to participate if you want. Anyway, what are your thoughts on the whole predatory aspects of what happens to indie artists and how this business they're doing their best to ruin you and take your money?
Oh, they'll get over on you. I mean, they will try. I mean, you got people that don't even want to pay you to.
After they have put, wait. They don't want to pay you, even though they agreed up front. They were going to pay you. Yeah. They come up with excuses not to pay you.
Oh yeah, I mean it's a crappy business. I'm not gonna lie, it's hard. Even when sometimes dealing with other artists, you get screwed over. It's definitely a den of snakes. But like I said, you stay in tune with yourself. And listen to your intuition. So that helps me a lot. I listen to my intuition. When my intuition says, hey, I don't think you should do this, then I'd step away from it. Because you got everybody trying to get money out of you, and they don't do the job that they say they're going to do. And I'm like, well, I might as well do it myself. I've had that happen. So, you just have to keep going. You have to keep going and just kind of like weed out the bad. And there are good people in this business that do want to help you. There are people that want to see you make it. There are people that want to see you succeed. And they will do everything that they can to help you, but it comes far and few.
It is. There's probably other businesses that I don't know about, although I am very familiar with this business. And I often remark, are there other businesses that you have to sue your boss to get paid? And why anyone would want to get into that business if they knew what it was up front. And I'm talking about the major record deals, the big corporate America, the ones that cheat their artists for decades, have cheated their artists out of their money, hide the fuzzy accounting. Hey, how many records did I sell in Taiwan last week? How about none? How are you ever going to know? You're going to go over there and start counting them? How are you going to know that? Well, you don't, and that's how they launder money, and that's how they rip off artists. Okay, well, all right. So those are the bad aspects about this business. Let's talk about the good aspects. Where would you rather spend this Friday night? On stage for 3 hours or in the studio for 3 hours?
Oh, that's a good question. I like performing, and I like being in the studio, too, so I split the time up. Give me an hour and a half
Good
in the
answer.
studio, an hour and a half on stage. I'd be happy.
You passed the test, yes.
Thank you.
Although I've been saying this to the point where listeners are going to send me hate mail for telling them again. In my opinion, while it's great to play on stage and do a great show, a week later they've long forgotten about that and they're looking at the next show. But when you record, you leave something for humanity. And with today's digital age, shows like this, digitized music, it should be around on the internet forever. Forever. Can you imagine if we had interviews with, I don't know, Christ, Plato, Shakespeare? You know, the technology didn't exist back then. It exists now.
Yep.
And when you put something on iTunes or CD Baby and it's a bunch of ones and zeros flying around the web, it's going to be here forever. So as fun as it is to play a gig, in my opinion, it is far more important that you leave something for humanity and people will remember you, you know?
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
And I know people are sending me hate mail already. All right. If you want to send a question or comment to this or any broadcast, DJ@artistfirst.com. So have you had anything crazy happen to you at any of your live performances or appearances?
Not in particular. I did have one instance where I was singing and somebody almost pulled me off the stage and I yanked back and I was like, hold up. They were trying to say something in my ear. I don't know, but they almost pulled me off the stage and it took a lot of balance to stay up there. So I was like, I pointed at them. I was like, oh, what are you doing? But you know, it was all fun though. They were just enjoying themselves. They got a little excited.
Well, where was security? Security's supposed to stop that from happening.
Well, I don't know. They probably were dancing too.
When my band performs, the security has to beat the customers back because they're trying to kill us and make us stop playing.
Oh wow.
Not really. Well, okay, sometimes, but you know, not every crowd is as friendly as they should be. You know, what are your? You are your own boss. You're making your own future. You are willing it into existence. There was a great line I think I saw in the Jurassic Park movie, and I won't get this right, but creation is the act of sheer will. Interesting. It ain't going to happen unless RedHits makes it happen.
That's true. That's true. Every day I'm doing that. Every day I'm working towards it, you know, because, you know, the thing that was hard, you know, to kind of get my head around, because I'm an artist and I'm a songwriter, so I already naturally know how to write and I naturally know how to be an artist. But then here's the business side, something that I didn't know anything about. And to me, creating the music, making the music is the easiest thing. But then when you get to that business side, that's when it gets crazy. Because you've got a lot. You've got to push your music. You've got to get it out here. And everybody's just not as friendly. Like I said, you know, a lot of people don't even want to give you the time of day to even listen to your music. And then, you know, I've had people try to charge me money to play my music, you know, big money too. And I'm like, goodness. I'm like, have you heard it? It sounds good. I mean, listen to it. Well, you got to pay me. I'm like, oh, okay.
Well, AM and FM stations in America have been doing this since there have been AM and FM stations in America. What I'm saying is it's called payola. That's where you pay a radio station to play your music. It is absolutely illegal. I used to speak to Joe Finan, was one of the people prosecuted, one of the most storied cases in this history. It happens every single day in America. Major record label reps walk in with bags of cocaine, sports tickets, prostitutes, and cash, and they get their records played. Happens every day. I got numbers. Hey, it's $20 a play in Cleveland. I got a station director that will take your money tomorrow. He only takes cash, by the way. Okay, that's illegal. Now, Wi-Fi stations are allowed to accept money for rotation plays. I think that is legal in that business. We never do that. We have never done that, and we never will do that. But I think it is technically legal in that business. Didn't I mention this was a shit business? I think I mentioned that before. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to play another track that you are featured on. The track title is Ferocious. Tell us about this cut.
Well, this is like a laid-back, nice little club banger, for all the ladies. Just, giving them compliments and just making them feel, ferocious. So check it out.
Hey. Go get her. Man, she ferocious. Yeah. Oh yeah, she bad, she ferocious. Oh yeah, she bad, she ferocious. Girl, gonna put that ass in motion. Girl, gonna put that ass in motion. Oh yeah, she got my eyes open. Hey, oh, oh, oh. Now she wanna get to know you, wanna get to know you. She like I'm Chuck, I might play with them token. YGG, you know what else? She on that deal like a Trojan. I might fall off in the ocean, in the cook. Hokey pokey, got that guacamole. Don't wanna hear it, shot, they gon' have to show. Oh yeah, she bad, she ferocious. I'ma lay it down tonight. Ain't no wishing, but she got a nigga hurt. No hokey pokey, I'ma fall off in the ocean. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, she bad, she ferocious, she ferocious. I'ma lay it down tonight. Ain't no wishing, but she got a nigga hurt. No hokey pokey, I'ma fall off in the ocean. Ooh, ooh.
Hey baby, when I look at you, I see all the things that define just you. You're savage, fierce, intense. Damn, you ferocious. And you are the epitome of that.
Come here, lay your body on this canvas. I'ma paint you in my love. You don't mind being branded. With a body so savage, skin smooth like a sanded. I'ma throw you to the wind and shake the room till it's damaged. Hey girl, you're ferocious as they come, like a fire on a lighter, an explosion on the sun. And I'ma have to ask when I'm next to you, don't run, cause they think I'ma slash when I'm dressing you with done. And when I'm on this wave, girl, anything goes. And it's just a taste and it's never retro. I can go for days if you let me rest though. I'm always on my way for them stilettos. Oh yeah, she bad, she ferocious, ferocious. I'ma lay it down tonight. Ain't no wishing, but she got a nigga hurt. No hokey pokey, I'ma fall off in the ocean. Ooh, ooh. Oh yeah, she bad, she ferocious, she ferocious. I'ma lay it down tonight. Ain't no wishing, but she got a nigga hurt. No hokey pokey, I'ma fall off in the ocean. Ooh, ooh.
You are listening to the music of RedHits. She is our featured music special tonight. And RedHits, we were just talking right there. We had to jump back because I saw the song was coming to an end. And we were talking about the obsolescence of the old-fashioned record label. I'm talking about the big corporate record labels. And please continue with the thought as we were talking before we had to come back.
Well, no, I was just saying that, after a while, I was telling some friends of mine that I don't think record labels are going to be, too much longer. I don't see it. I see a lot of artists going independent, but they'll find ways to suck money out of you, some kind of way. But I don't see record labels surviving because people are catching on and hey, I can do this myself. I don't need any record label to back me. I can keep all my money, and it's a lot of extra work, but why not? Why not do the work and get the money that you truly deserve and you truly earn. Why give your money away and just be a puppet, you know? And I just refuse to do that. I will do this and work hard. I will get up every morning. I will go to sleep late to make my dreams happen and to where I can keep what I earn, what I know I deserve. I don't want to give that away.
I totally agree with everything you said, and I want to be in that position that you just described. But let me take it to the next step. When you get right down to it, Red Hits, you're not doing this for the money, right? Well, I mean, if you never make a penny at this, would you stop today and go, oh, screw this, I'm going to go do something else?
No, I've been doing this free most of my life, to tell you the truth.
Okay, that's where I was going. Now, here's the question. Why?
Because I love it. I mean, this is, when I write, when I perform, it gives me a feeling like no other. I mean, nothing has ever given me an amazing feeling like when I'm writing a song and I know it's hot, or when I'm on stage and I'm performing, or when I'm in that studio and I'm recording. Like, it just gives me joy. It sends shocks all through my body. And I've been doing it free for a very long time, and hopefully, in this world, you do need money to survive. But I love what I do. I enjoy what I do. I love it to death. And I know one day, at the rate I'm going to make plenty of money, you know. But my goal is to get my music out to people, because I write from life's experiences. I write from the things that I've been through. And I want my music to be able to help others by simply, going through what I went through in relationships or with friends or whatever, So I want people to listen to my music and my music be therapeutic for them. They can listen to it and say, I feel better. There's messages in my music. That's what I'm ultimately trying to do, is trying to help a lot of people, because that's what we're here for. That's what we were put here for, to help other people through our gifts. And that's what I want to do. So that's what I continue to do every day.
And you mentioned this just in passing, and I'm not sure that, I'm sure the audience, I actually am sure that the audience did not capture the essence of, and I'm talking about the guy on the beach, total stranger, comes up to you and, dismisses you offhand, and then listens to what you do. Mm-hmm. And then takes the time, didn't have to, takes the time to come back and go, nice job.
Yeah.
Do you know how many artists will never have the opportunity of getting direct feedback from a stranger who appreciates their music? I mean, that was a beautiful thing.
It was. I was smiling ear to ear, and I told him, thank you. You made my day today,
Yeah, when somebody comes up and says, yeah, I downloaded your song, or I heard your song on the radio today, man, there's so much stuff on the radio just for somebody to even acknowledge. It's just, like you say, it makes your whole day. Oh, yeah. Vincent Van Gogh died a broke alcoholic in a one-room apartment filled with cockroaches. And now his paintings sell for, I don't know, $50 million each.
That's crazy.
So the moral of the story is we should all sell our homes and move into one-bedroom apartments with cockroaches? No. Sir. It's that you folks ought to get out there and support the many fine artists that come through these microphones all these years. Listeners, it's easier to buy it than steal it. You don't get all those viruses and malwares when you get the pirated versions. So get out there. Now, Red Hits, tell everybody, how can they support you? Where can they buy your music?
Actually, my music is everywhere. It's on Spotify, Tidal, iTunes, Amazon. It's on my website. You can purchase directly on my website, only1redhits.com, only #1redhits.com. But it's on all the digital stores. So you can find it everywhere. Just type in "She'll Be Single Again" Red Hits. Just type in Red Hits, and you'll see all the music that I continue to put up.
This is an inspirational thing that I like to mention. As you guys knew, for many years we had a radio show host named Nalo Venge, originally from the Bronx, moved to L.A., and he's moved on his career. He's too busy to do a show on the station anymore. He sells music to the music industry, TV, cinema, commercials. Anyway, the inspirational thing I'm bringing up is here back, I think it was in early 2015, he wrote a song called Sexy Girl, and I'm glad to give it some publicity right now. Sexy Girl by Nalo Venge, K-N-A-hyphen-L-O, separate word, V-E-N-G-E. Now, he has had albums out before, but in this particular case, he wrote one song. And we aired it on the station. He put it on his radio program on our station, and he circulated it around his social groups. In a 6-month period of time, 16,000 of you good people went out there and downloaded that song for 99 cents a song. Nalo Venge got to keep 89 cents of every 99 cents you good people spent. Nalo Venge made almost $14,000 in a 6-month period off of a single record and not a single download. And no CDs were ever pressed. No additional investment was ever made. You heard the song, you liked it, and you went out and spent $1 to support an independent artist. Why not do the same thing with this great artist, RedHits, or any one of all the great indie artists that are out there that deserve your support? Damn, I'd love to make 13 G's off one of my songs this year.
Yeah.
Ain't that great, man?
That would be absolutely amazing.
Well, and you know what? Here's the other side of that coin. If he would go to a major record label and say, look, I just had 16,000 songs downloaded, they'd probably offer him a contract. He's already demonstrating he has marketability, right? But that would be completely the wrong thing to do, and he knows that, and he stays independent. But so what's the future hold for RedHits?
Well, I'm going to keep doing music. I'm going to keep, pumping this great music out here, keep writing and keep pushing until I get to my ultimate goal. Nothing can stop me. I will not stop, and I will continue. And I thank all my supporters, all my fans who have been showing me just tremendous amounts of love, and all the people who have already downloaded my music. Thank you so much. Thank you for, streaming it, downloading it, and things like that.
Well, so many artists that come through here crowdfund their albums. They go to, GoFundMe, a couple of these other places. And if you build a social network, you can get people to give you money before the CD's made.
Yeah.
And then you give them one when it's made. It's artist rate $8,000, $10,000, $15,000. I saw a band that came through here recently. They raised $25,000 for the studio time.
Wow.
Which they spent on crack and hookers, but, well, that's another matter. But, that's never happened before. I could tell you some stories, but, you know what I'm saying. Folks, you can get out there. You can have an impact on listeners, how an artist's success goes. It is very important that you get out there and support all of the indie artists out there that you like. Especially RedHits, our guest tonight. Now, we talked about how RedHits has poetry in her background. If you go to her website, there is a great poem I was reading there earlier tonight that she has been so gracious to say that she would read for us on the air tonight. Are you still hip to doing that?
Yeah, I'll do it.
It's great. It's a great, tell us about it, the title, and explain a little bit about it, and then let it rip.
Poem is called Dance to Our Love. And it's a romantic poem, something that you would want to probably read to your sweetie or something. I'll just let the words kind of explain. I don't want to. I want you to hear it, and then you say, "Hey, okay." So I'm gonna go ahead and read it. All right, let's see. Candles burn on the mantle as we're serenaded by the day. Your hand meets mine as they intertwine and our hips begin to sway. We've captured romance at its essence, though past passions left us confused. But we took this step and now paint in depth a love that became our muse. As we draw closer, I see love's resonance hidden deep within your eyes. though past relations were often masqueraded just to slip into another disguise. I hold your heart precious, and we shall dance till the moon sets. I would never hurt or harm you, for your end is my last breath. So dance with me, love, dance with me, love. For what we've overcome, we must celebrate. Love has proven victorious, and much more to this night awaits. A sip of some wine and a clink of the glass ends this night to chance. And together we love through time and leave behind all the reasons we began to dance.
Outstanding. That's a great poem.
Thank you.
You're so talented.
Thank
Okay,
you.
we expect big things of you. We're not putting any pressure on you, Red Hits, but, if you don't have a Grammy like in, next year, I'm going to be pretty pissed off.
I'm going to be pretty pissed at myself, because that's what I'm working towards.
You know what, though? I heard the MTV Awards were on the other night, and, of course, I haven't watched MTV in 30 years, because I used to watch them when they actually played music videos. I know most of you don't even know what I'm talking about. And on the news, they gave out the names of the people that won the MTV Awards. I didn't recognize one of them.
Wow.
Now, am I an old fuddy-duddy? Okay, maybe so. But you know what? The ability to capture the world's attention as one or two artists used to do decades ago is long gone. So many people are supporting indie artists. There are tens of thousands. There are billions and billions of them out there. Just give them a chance like we do here on Artist First. Well, we're going to go out with your track that we started off with for those listeners who might not have tuned in at the beginning of the show. Our guest has been Red Hits this hour. Her website is onlyoneredhits.com. It's linked up on our homepage and archive page. We got a minute or two left here, Red Hits. How about some shout-outs or your parting thoughts on the broadcast? The floor is yours.
Okay, I want to also give my Facebook music page. It's
By all
Red
means.
Hits Music, RedHits Music. That's Facebook. And you can find me on Instagram, Red Hits. So those will be the easier way to get to me as well. Shout out to my family, my wonderful Aunt Brenda Webster. She's always showed me a lot of love and compliments me and lets me know I'm talented every day. My mom, all my friends and all my supporters who just continue to support me and give me encouraging words on a daily basis. Thank you so much. Thank you, Z-Man. You're amazing. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to be on this show.
We built this station back in 1996 because we got tired of artists being dumped on. The artist is always the last one paid, always the first one screwed. And we named the company Artist First because everybody puts the artist last. Not anymore. 600 million hours of our archives have been downloaded and are circulating out in cyberspace. Thank you, listeners, for all the support you have shown the many fine artists, and especially for Red Hits tonight. Man, Red Hits, you got friends here. Hey, when are you coming back?
Anytime you have me, I will. Anytime, I'm here.
Well, where's the next? You got any live shows coming up?
Actually, it may be in Atlanta. We're trying to confirm that now. I've been talking to some people, so hopefully I'll be performing here in the next weekend in Atlanta, and that's going to be a very exciting show. So once we confirm everything, I'll post it on my Facebook, Red Hits Music, and my Instagram, and my website, onlyoneredhits.com. So everybody will know, all my shows and everything that I have going on. I have some more singles that I'm going to release here. I've got a beautiful love ballad called Nearly Severed that I can't wait to let the world hear. I'm going to probably drop that in the fall. And I also got a music video that I'm working on for She'll Be Single Again. So a lot of great things are underway.
Make sure you send that over when you get that cut done. I'd love to hear it.
Absolutely.
Well, and folks, thanks for tuning in for this broadcast. Artist First is here to help the independent artist, the best new music you've never heard, like RedHits. She's doing a hell of a job. And congratulations on all your success so far, and all the best wishes for what you're going to do in the future. It's been a pleasure having you on.
Thank you. This was a pleasure.
You come back, girl. You got friends here, and we'll do everything we can. This station is at your disposal.
I certainly will.
All right, folks, we're going to conclude with the single that RedHits has out tonight. She'll Be Single Again is the name of the cut. RedHits, thanks again. Can't wait to have you back.
Can't wait to be back. Thank you.
She's so dirty. She don't care about nobody but herself. Yeah. And it don't hurt me, even though I know she's with someone else. Yeah. 'Cause she got problems. Her life is filled with misery. Her love won't blossom, and it'll be nothing like what you think. Promise to me, she'll twist and turn the truth. Turn your family against you. You fight all night, argue all day. She'll always be the victim and you'll always be to blame. She won't support your dreams. She'll destroy all your things. Badmouth you to her friends, you never hear the end. And when she does what she intends, she'll be single again. Right now you're a man, but trust me, she'll be single again. I know you got plans, but trust me, she'll be single. She's straight up crazy. Nothing that she does makes no sense. No. But she's shady, so you can hang it up, make it breathe. 'Cause she got issues, and every instance she gon' cheat. 'Cause she been misused, her heart's not even insane. Promise to me, oh, she'll twist and turn the truth. Turn your family against you. You fight all night, argue all day. She'll always be the victim and you'll always be to blame. She won't support your dream. She'll destroy all your things. Badmouth you to her friends, you never hear the end. And when she does what she intends,